Back on the Young Turks, Jake and Michael with you. Now we're going to talk to Eric Boehlert from Media Matters. He had an interesting article with some facts. Yes, facts. The conservatives and these days the mainstream press don't seem to like those things. But before this issue passed, I wanted to bring this up so that people are not confused as to what actually happened here. Because conventional wisdom is set in here, or is close to setting in, and we want to make sure we correct the record. It's about the battle between the Obama White House and Fox News and what that has done to Fox News' ratings. Eric, welcome back to the Young Turks.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, so what is the conventional wisdom, Eric?
Oh, my gosh. Conventional wisdom is thanks to the White House and its foolish decision to fact-check Fox News, Fox News' ratings have soared, spiked, gone through the roof, sort of insert your cliche here. But no, I mean, I think I listed 15 items, or I cited 15 examples in my column at the bottom. That talking point was everywhere. Fox News' ratings after the controversy had gone through the roof, and it was not just Fox News saying that. It wasn't just sort of the conservative press saying that. It was the Beltway media elites who were driving that notion.
Now, Eric, they had some numbers to back them up, so they claimed. And when I saw those numbers, I thought, well, that looks kind of impressive. I'm dubious.
Right.
The minute Obama was elected, I thought, oh, that's it. Fox's ratings are going to go through the roof. I said that, and they have. Yep. And they have, because they're on the attack now, right?
Sure.
But I was dubious that they went up further when, because of this little fight here, they were already doing pretty well as it was. But they seem to have some facts. So what was the facts that they had, and what was wrong with those?
Yeah, the Los Angeles Times was one of the first to print the numbers, and they confirmed the numbers came from Fox News. So, I mean, this is typical in the cable business. You have, research and communication departments that are in constant contact with reporters and sort of feeding them the Nielsen numbers and their spin and how it looks great for you. So they do this all the time, and the latest batch was, if you look at the 2 weeks before Anita Dunn sort of started the White House push on October 11th, and if you look at the 2 weeks after that, you would see a 9% gain in Fox's overall ratings, and you would see, I think it was a 14% gain in the demo 25-54. And so, right, you look at that and you say 9%. That's it's certainly modest. I mean, the weekly cable news ratings often go up or down 9 or 10 points each week, just based on cyclical stuff.
And Eric, if I can interrupt, what are the raw numbers to those to 9%? What basically does 9%?
About 1.3 million people a week. Yeah, 1.2, 1.3, and within those demos, we're talking about 325,000, 25-54 viewers. But still, you say 9. You look at 9%. You say, okay, we don't know. It's all cause and effect, but a 10% bump's a 10% bump. But then if you look at the very small print, what they did, it was a 14-day comparison pre-controversy compared to a 12-day post-controversy. And what they did is they left off the last Saturday and Sunday, and of course Saturday and Sunday are traditionally the lowest-rated cable news days. So it was this sort of trick. They were comparing a 14-day period to a 12-day period, and by the way, they left off the lowest 2 days. Well, when you made it a 14-day comparison to a 14-day comparison, that 9% gain became a 2% gain, which is just completely irrelevant in the world of cable news. That you'll see that kind of bump on any given day or week. So suddenly the spike turns into a complete flat line in the 2 weeks after the controversy, and there's no there.
Eric, we're talking to Eric Boehlert from Media Matters. That's disappointing in two ways. One, you cited about 3 or 4 articles that gave the numbers.
Yeah.
The fact that none of them could tell the difference between a 12-day and a 14-day period. Yeah. I mean, look, maybe it's because I'm partly kind of in the business, but I think, okay, but what are you comparing? If you leave out the weekend, it's the most obvious fraud of all time, right?
Right.
That's disappointing. And then the second thing is, they seem so eager to go along with this, the Obama White House screwed up by going after our buddies at Fox.
Well, and also the irony of the fact that they are not fact-checking people who are being criticized for not fact-checking.
Well, but your 2 points are completely intertwined, because the press went with this. The press was pushing this story literally with in 12 hours after the story began. So the talking point immediately was, this is going to generate a huge spike. The media elites just knew in their gut that the White House had made this huge tactical blunder, and it was going to create this. I don't know what they thought, that Fox News was going to get 8 million viewers all of a sudden, or I don't know what they thought, but they claimed from the get-go it was going to produce this rating spike. And then about a week or so later, they saw, or 2 weeks later, they saw seeing some numbers that seemed to confirm it, so they went all in again. But that was the story they wanted to tell, because
you see, Eric, let me just jump in there for a second, because it's interesting that they wanted to tell that story. And we had a former Republican congressman on here, Boehlert, and he made a really great point about this, funny enough. He said, look, why do you think the rest of the media is defending Fox? And he's very deeply conservative, right? But he's an open-minded guy. He's an interesting guy to talk to. He said, why do you think they're defending Fox? Because those guys think, hey, maybe one day I'll get that big paycheck from Rupert Murdoch. I mean, could that be part of what drives them to band together and say, oh, no, don't attack those guys, because I could, there but for the grace of God, go, I could have taken a job with Fox. I might take a job with Fox later.
I don't know if it's specifically what they want, that Murdoch paycheck, but I think there is this sort of grace of God of, wait a minute, we do not want White House's fact-checking our stuff.
Well,
we do fine when we're in control of the guidelines. We like it when everyone's on the same page. We like it when everyone sort of regurgitates the same thing. We do not, Democrats are simply not allowed to call out the press by name. We saw that during the Clinton years when they occasionally pushed back on the really crazy Whitewater stuff, and they named names. The Beltway press came down on them like a ton of bricks. It is absolutely off limits for Democrats to criticize the press by name. Of course, Republicans, press bashing has been a cornerstone of that movement for 4 decades. That's expected, and everyone sort of nods their head. But when Democrats do it, it's like, it's Katie bar the door. I mean, it is just not allowed. So I think this was a way for the press saying, no way. We are not going to have a new Democratic administration that's going to fact-check the press. That is just out of bounds. And the other thing that was just amazing to me was just sort of the crushing uniformity. I mean, everyone wrote the exact same column talking about why it was such a bad idea for Fox News, for the White House to fact-check Fox News, and every one of those columns included at least a couple sentences about how it was going to spike Fox News' ratings, or it had already spiked Fox News' ratings, even though it was completely false.
The power of groupthink is unreal.
My God.
I mean, you see it so many places.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Eric Boehlert from Media Matters. You can find the article, of course, on Media Matters' website as well. Eric, thanks so much for joining us.
I'll talk to you soon.
Yep. We'll be right back. Young Turks.